Bring back that beat. I tickle myself.
I cracked myself up. This is Sparta. He kicking him down that well.
Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
Welcome back to the Fourcast with the four of us, obviously myself, HRap, WIlks, and King Dawk, coming at you every week the same time, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, and four different perspectives as we review movies, films, documentaries, a completely different way.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say. All right, and tonight's episode, Untold, the Murder of Air McNair. It's on Netflix, and it was number 3, I think, at its peak at one point. And this should be maybe a short and sweet one because it was pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us, and we'll get into that with initial thoughts, I think a lot of us already knew, obviously, that he was dead, but how he died, I remember it. I don't remember the person. But yeah. You got something, Doc?
Yeah, I'll just read. Let me just say this. This is the shortest, least amount of information I've been able to gather to be able to give the plot introduction. It don't have Nathan. Okay, I'm going to give you the complete synopsis of what they give me. This documentary tracks the rise of legendary NFL quarterback Steve McNair and the perplexing details surrounding his shocking murder in 2009. That's it.
That's it.
Released in 2024, 58-minute runtime, and it's a documentary. That's it.
Straight to the point.
They didn't cut.
But let me just go ahead and tell you what folks like the New York Times and the Guardian had to say about this movie. They say it. Save yourself. Here's a couple of comments. Save yourself an hour and a half. Just Google it. That's what New York Times said. And then the Guardian said something very similar. They said Netflix's documentary about the killing of the American football star reveals almost nothing you wouldn't learn in the 10 minutes on the web.
Yeah, you could have Googled it. It would have gave you everything. I did like, so let's get into some initial thoughts. I did like the showing the run of the Titans. But obviously, that's not really
that ain't even
about.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. But being a sports guy, you love that Music City Miracle and showing all of that. But the actual part on the actual murder was pretty cut and dry, and you already knew.
Yeah, lead a footballer, John Facenda and Steve Sable, and who's doing it now? It's a new cat doing it. He's a comedian. That's the voice of the NFL films now. I'm gonna have to look that up and get back with you. Just a comedian. He came to Cowboys camp. Yeah. Very surprising. I'll find it out. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah.
WIlks, initial thoughts. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right. Doing good. I was kind of shocked. I don't know why I keep having that. Like, man, only 58 minutes. But I mean, even then, when the death occurred, there wasn't even a lot that kind of came out then. It just said, retired football player Steve McNair had been killed. And it was kind of like, I never really even heard most of the investigation or but then they found out there was a double homicide and it was just like, it was kind of there and went. So it was kind of after that. So, and then like you just said, it's like they had to find fillers. They had to throw his career in there because you don't really have anything else. Just kind of straight to the point. So.
Yeah. Let me get to some comments and then I'll come to you, HRap. Chef Jeff in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Nominated for various BSC Network awards. So if you have not already, vote for your favorite show. You do not have to vote for all of them. So if you don't know everyone, but you can vote for those that you know, those that you love. Appreciate you for tuning in. We got Raider Kev in the building. Thank you for tuning in as well. We got Golden Brooks in the building.
Okay, come back to me now. It wasn't NFL Films. It's Hard Knocks. It's being narrated by Liv Schreiber, the guy who played in what's that HBO series where he's the fixer?
He's the voiceover for that.
Ray Donovan. For Hard Knocks. Ray Donovan. Yeah, he's the voiceover for Hard Knocks. Oh man,
who's got a horn?
Y'all leave me alone. That's the fan club outside. They're trying to see if I can let them in.
Golden, thank you for tuning in.
Living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden.
He said, well, if the documentary sucked, how was the soundtrack? I think it wasn't the soundtrack.
Hey, and that's inexcusable. You're in Nashville.
Right.
You didn't have no country music at all. I thought there would be more to it too. It was kind of like, I knew all that already. Yes. And then at the end, they sprinkled in Vincent
Sprinkle me, man.
Big timer. Yeah. But they sprinkled that in at the end, and he just kind of threw everything for a loop, and then it was like that was it. So maybe if they would have gave more time to Vincent Hill. Vincent Hill came in with the controversy and what maybe would have happened or what could happen or what did happen, and people fumbling things and stuff like that. Wanga in the building. Thank you for tuning in.
What's up with it?
Jeff Short, I'm from Mississippi. I've seen a few documentaries about Steve's murder. I was wondering if this would give more information on his last moment.
No, sir.
No, it did not.
No, it did not.
No, sir.
All right, HRap.
I agree with the panel. This was shabbily done. This was 30 for 30. This was another. They just took the 30. They literally just took the 30 for 30 and put a new name on it. And what I didn't like, one of the things I didn't like, they let Jeff Fisher sit there and lie.
What you mean? Talk to me. Now I'm interested. I'm more interested in this than I am the damn documentary.
Jeff Fisher sat there and lied. He said in his rookie year, we decided we was on what it was. It was a battle between him and this dude named Chris Chandler.
Yeah.
Chris Chandler was an established quarterback. He was solid. He was above average. He was a win with quarterback, meaning
he was a tie Detmer.
PW come from a PWI, right?
Yeah. I think Chris Chandler came from Ohio State. Yeah, so yeah. And
Blue Blood.
They set Steve McNair for 2 full seasons. He played in 3 games, 7 games total for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering right.
Yeah.
Because this is at the height of my sports fanatic life. I was immersed in sports at this point. So it really pissed me off when Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, I didn't like him either back in the day. I liked him a little bit more after this, but back then I didn't like him.
He's been a horrible coach since the word go.
Yeah,
he's a piss poor coach, but that's neither here nor there. But they allowed him to lie, and it's just a continuing cycle of inability to fact check and present an actual story. Whoever did this didn't identify the cultural reverence of Steve McNair. Steve McNair was the very first Black quarterback who was supposed to be good. You got Doug Williams and James Shaq Harris. Salute to both of them out of Grambling State University. That they were okay. We'll throw y'all a bone.
What about Vince Evans with the Raiders?
Vince Evans wasn't supposed to be
surprised. Right.
He got drafted by the Bears, but James
surprise mother
the Rams to the precipice of the Super Bowl, and then Vince Ferragamo carried them over the goal line, and Doug Williams was the first round brother that they overlooked. And salute to Joe Gibbs for telling the whole world Doug Williams is our guy.
Yeah.
But Steve McNair was the very first Black quarterback who was
highly touted,
going to be special.
Yeah, everybody knew who they was taking. Yeah,
right.
From Alcorn State too, which is not as a small HBCU.
Hey, they got 50,000 people in that seats. That's big.
Yeah, but
our school didn't have
terrible.
So let me answer this then, HRap. So he said that the reason why Steve began to start was because he came to him and said, this ain't working. Because Steve McNair came to Jeff Fisher and said,
I think that was an unabashed lie. It was just one of those situations to whereas you set this dude down for 2 full seasons and didn't give him the opportunity. You're going into a new town. You needed to have people pay attention. So what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Put them out there. And everything just happened to work.
So to your point, Steve McNair, his first 2 years, he played in his first year. He played in 4, started in 2. He had a 2-0 record. His second year, he played in 9 games and started 4. And then that third year, like you said, he basically started from there on.
And that's what was his record in the second year, man?
It was 2-2. Yeah, he had 6 touchdowns, 4 picks.
Yeah. So, and this also shows the ineptability, inept coaching of a Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher has never been able to develop anything but an opinion, and he literally wasted this dude's talent. And this is coming from a dude who plays defense, and I am immensely biased and I hate offensive players. But Steve McNair was one of those dudes that I was digging because he had game and he could clearly have game. And then he comes from HBCUs, so I'm already partial. Alcorn State is, it was a rival. But man, dude, this was a deal.
This was huge.
Steve McNair being on at the Heisman presentation situation, and it was like this was our, this was Black America's, and you got ESPN at its height, the internet creeping up, so we can look up highlights. And this a black man who's about to be a big time first round quarterback, and he's picked 3rd. I really wish they would have picked. I wish they would have continued the racism and picked Kerry Collins and let Steve McNair go to South Carolina and be one of the Carolina Panthers, and this would be a totally different situation.
Yeah. But yeah, he did get picked 3rd to Houston, and then a couple of years later they moved. And I remember that, and I'm like, Tennessee? I mean, I didn't.
Tennessee.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a football city, a football town, or anything. But they end up getting the team. They're still there now. They had Vince Young. They also they had decent quarterbacks. I think him and Vince Young are like the quarterbacks when you think of the Titans.
When you think of the Titans, the other quarterback is Warren Moon. Yeah. When you think of the Oilers.
Right, true. All right, so they started off the documentary basically showing his condo, showing it was July 4th, 2009. There was a murder. So they're like, okay, who is it? And then you start to see all these people flocking, and then the murmurs start coming out that, okay, it's Steve McNair. People are like, okay, it's Steve McNair. Is he there with somebody? Is it him by himself? And then they're like, okay, there's a lady there. And then it's like, okay, it's not his wife. So like everything just started to unravel. And his friend, let's talk about Robert Gaddy, which I think that was his friend. It make it seem like people call him his.
We call him Bobby.
Bobby Boobland. But it made it seem like he knew more, and they ended up having a fight, and it was bad timing, obviously.
Over $13,000? You think I'm falling out there over $13,000?
And that's real hood right there. Yeah. Hey, that's stinking $13,000, man. But Dawk, give me your thoughts. Robert Gaddy, when you see him, and you see he was one of the first people there too.
Yeah, he's shady to say the least. He knew what was going on the whole time. So ain't a wife in the world gonna watch this program and like Robert Gaddy at all because they know the Negro was in it. And I think he fell out, because he was crying too hard, we was arguing, man. Oh, I shouldn't have been arguing, man. I might have been there for it. Yeah, that was their version of the White House. So Steve McNair got a lot of Michael Irvin in it, you see.
Yeah.
They got the similar taste in women.
Yeah, he just don't have a nose candy though.
Yeah, well, we don't know about that, do we?
I'm thinking they would have brought it up. They would have brought it up if that was a part of it.
Yeah, it's very apparent that they didn't do a whole lot of research. Like HRap said, they just slapped a new name on the 30 for 30. So, hey, I bet you me and HRap can give us a week in Nashville. We can find out some more shit than they did. I promise you we can.
Yeah, HRap.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you know what? I don't know if he was shady. Reason being, well, they do say criminals, being a criminal justice major, they do say criminals show up at the scene of the crime. But I don't think he would have been that stupid. I mean,
I
don't think he did it.
No, but he ain't. Let me put it like this: he ain't telling everything, you know.
Right.
I don't know. It's just a situation to whereas this shows you I'm trying not to do this, but hey, man, I'm HRap, man. I got to do what I do, man. It shows you the lack of humanity they see in people from our community. You got the biggest star in the history of your town, literally the biggest star in the history of your town, and you shabbily walk through an investigation of a murder-suicide, potentially. And you halfway do everything possible, and it shows how the police put attention. That's why there's a different Amber Alert for young black girls. It ain't Amber Alert. It's a different alert. It's an Ebony Alert. So this is another point, another proof positive reason that we are seen as less than, because had Dan Marino been shot, had John Elway been shot, had Dan Fouts been shot,
Dan Marino,
that's for you. That's for you, Wilks. You'll be looking for him.
Yeah,
it would be on the news every hour. Just look at OJ's wife. We're still talking about some random white lady that OJ has. he said some random white lady. That's all she is. Nicole Simpson was a random white lady who was killed by somebody that we assumed that he was going to be killed by. That we assumed Brother Simpson was killed by, and we still talk about it 30 years later.
30 years later, yeah. Yeah, and I think this also goes to Wayne Neely, that shows up first, doesn't call the police. How much of this blame is on Wayne?
There for an hour.
He said what an hour went by.
What was he doing? He was just sitting there like
that much of the blame on him. How you gonna blame him?
He could have called sooner. Who knows what could happen?
He was still alive. This joker got popped 4 times. He was done. This ain't Tupac, man. This is a quarterback.
I'm saying the fact that he didn't call then and he called somebody else to call.
Well, remember at first he said, remember when he said he thought he was asleep and he went to the restroom.
Right.
Then he
said he seen the girl on the floor. You thought she was asleep too?
He didn't see her at first, I guess.
It's impossible not see a dead human.
That's some whack excuse.
I don't know.
That's some whack excuse. But
the whole thing is wacky. I actually gonna give it one mic tonight, so we might as well just fast forward to the end of it anyway.
Let me tell you what wifey said about it. Yes. When we got through watching it, she said the moral of the story is, and she looked me square in my eyes when she said this. She said the moral of the story is, don't cheat. Find you something safe to do.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, ma'am.
Brady Kev says, I remember when the story came out that the woman he was with wasn't his wife. I cursed an ex-friend out because she said that's what he gets for messing around. You don't deserve death like that. You don't deserve it like that, man. Come on. You can get your tires.
Are we talking about deserve? Are we talking about deserving? Are we talking about what's deserved? I mean, come on. That's not the point whether he deserved it or not. The bottom line is keep yourself out of places, people, and things that you don't need to be in. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
I think we're jumping to conclusions. Okay. We've never heard, to this day, what that happened in 2009. Yeah. We've never heard from his wife. So we don't know if him and his wife were in good standings.
Oh, they probably wouldn't.
So I did
because he wasn't even trying to hide it.
I did look up something. Oh, yeah, she knew he was messing around. She did not know about this one though. Nazim. Nazir.
Don't worry about it. Keep going. You're doing good. Go ahead.
Yeah, she didn't know about her, but she knew there was other people, but she still loved him. But yeah, she purposely did not want to be in the public eye. She wanted to take care of her sons and just let it be what it was. But But yeah, the fact that she wanted to be involved in
they made it very clear that this was infidelity. They made it very clear that he was out and open about it. You know, like he was dating her publicly. You know, all up in Dave and Buster's and shit.
No, what I meant by we don't know their standing. We don't know if they're separated. We don't know if his wife is allowing this or not. I mean, put like this: if I grew up, I grew up on the west side. I grew up on the north side of Chicago, and if Oprah Winfrey would have said, "Look, you'll marry you, but I'm gonna be kicking it with Gail," going over to the Gales because I'm gonna get up out the hood. And maybe that's what his wife said. You know what? I could just be getting up, going to work every day, or I could be sitting in this mansion, letting him do his thing. I mean, let's just be honest. How many women are living right now with a dude who a plumber, and he got 4 or 5? How many times have we laughed and joked on this very show about your granddaddy, other family on the other side of town, and your grandmama said, "Hey, do what you got to do. Keep these lights on."
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it wasn't on the other side of the town. It was the next door or 2 houses down. For my people,
it was across the street and around the corner. What's up, Mike D? He said, "Don't take risks when you're a public figure. You can lose everything, including your life."
Well said, Michael Davis.
Now, when it came to Kazemi, like he met her at a Dave and Buster's. She was they were interviewing more people at the Dave and Buster's.
Minimum wage.
The Dave and Buster's. The funny part was her ex-boyfriend that was like, "Yeah, man, I love Steve McNair, man." And then I find out she's dating my girlfriend. Like, that was your girlfriend. Ain't your girlfriend no more.
Yeah.
But thoughts on the woman, Wilks. Did you know it was her back then? Or was this your first time kind of knowing who this was?
That was my first time. That's why I said I didn't really hear much about it after they had announced that he had been killed. I mean, unless I just didn't pay attention to it at the time, but I didn't even know who did it and who she was. Didn't even see any pictures of him. And yeah, that was the first time when I saw this documentary.
Yeah, she seemed like she was obviously on hard times, and Steve helped her out. Later on, we seem to find out from Vincent Hill that the guy that sold her the gun, maybe they were dating, maybe he was helping her out too, which I don't know about. I mean, because he was there with Steve. So.
The other guy said it, that he was being paid for help, paying for some of student loans and all this stuff. So yeah, he was spending.
Yeah, they were showing the Bank of America receipts.
Yeah, and the 20 calls I think that day.
Yeah. So you said this guy name was Steve Hill?
Vincent Hill.
Vincent Hill. Is he related to Drew Hill?
Tell me what you want. No, I don't think so. But the fact that he was in the last 5 minutes, I think we can all agree that he should have had more time. And it should have showed more of his. He basically just said some stuff. He didn't really show, like, he gave a little bit of proof. But if you would have extended this maybe 15 more minutes and kind of gave him time to lay things out and see where this stuff went, because we don't know if this went anywhere.
Vince Hill or the boyfriend?
Vince Hill.
Yeah.
It was like a spin, and that was it. Basically.
It seemed like a story that there's some obvious gaps, and it seemed like a story where still some people ain't doing some talking to me.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well,
that's what it's saying. Like.
Dude that sold the gun, which he ended up. They played his recording afterwards.
Yeah,
but let's just say. You believe it was a murder-suicide, or y'all think it was somebody else? HRap.
That's a good question. I never even thought about it. It's just a horrible situation. But murder-suicide, probably so. But I've always wondered, did her family have anything to do with it? Because, you know, when you're dealing with people from foreign countries, their honor means a lot. And they will hurt you about their honor. They will destroy you about their honor. So why wasn't any of her family members at the court?
And it kind of seemed like they were done with her. Like they disowned her. Because what they were given is she was in Florida, and then she moved from Florida to Nashville, and it seemed like her family was just done with her. But the fact that they weren't interviewed or talked about is interesting.
They talked about they showed some gentleman, and he said that their family it's pretty sure she didn't kill herself. But if you've disowned me and I've moved 8,000-9,000 miles away, 800,000-900,000 miles away, how would you know what my mental state is?
Mm-hmm.
This, you know, in a lot of cases like this, you know, I'm just using my, you know, my bachelor's degree. They used to talk about the person who's talking too much is the guiltiest person.
Mm-hmm.
He's the person who you need to really pay attention to, because they assume that I'm going to talk my way out of this. And when they start talking about her mental state after being disowned, it made me raise the eyebrow, because it took me right back to the very first day of school. I mean, literally the very first day I ever sat in a college classroom. And the professor said, "Hey, this is criminal justice class. I'm going to tell y'all this. If any of you are ever arrested, use your First Amendment right. I have the right to remain silent. Use that. Don't say anything. And when you start talking about somebody's mental state that you've disowned, I got to question you."
Hold your hands up. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, so that's what made me wonder. It's just so many tentacles to this. You got the shady dude. You got the homie who stole the 13K. Or even if that's an issue, because I don't understand how I can steal 13K from you, me and you beefing, and I show up at your house one day.
Yeah. Well, because the guy
at your house.
Yeah, because the guy called him though. Because the guy Wayne called. I don't think he was coming over there otherwise.
Yeah, I ain't showing up at your crib. Oh, you 13 grand, especially if you did. The hell I'm getting no, because I'm the first person. I owe you 13K. I just beat you for 13 racks, and then I'm like Illinois, my man, and our other homie Draz. If Draz called me, "Hey man, Ant dead," and I just beat Ant for 13K, let me know how it worked.
Let me know when the funeral was. I'll be there.
Right.
I'll be there in the back. Yeah.
Wait.
All right, Dawk. Murder suicide or not?
Yeah, I would have to. I'd have to support that theory. Because again, I think her mental state was shot just because. Remember, she thought she was the side piece and the only side piece. Mm-hmm. Okay, and he had been telling her, "Surprise, surprise! I'm finna divorce my wife."
Right.
Okay, and now you find out he messing with somebody else. So you playing everything back now. Oh, I got played.
Yeah. But that
hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
And she told the coworker at the great establishment, the Dave and Buster's, that I'm ready to die.
My life is going to shit.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about not even living it. What's the point? So
I think where the sketchy part comes in is that she got the gun from Gilliam, Adrian Gilliam. They end up coming to him and they say, "Hey, who'd you sell this gun to?" "I sold it to this girl." "What's her name?" "I don't really know." "Is this her?" When they show them the picture, yeah, that's her. So like,
all right, thank you.
But I don't know what his point would be to kill the two of them. I don't know why he would do that.
Yeah,
because I don't think there's no gain for him.
Nah.
So I don't think that part ends up panning out. But WIlks.
I want to know about gunpowder residue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how close were I ain't never heard of murder suicide. Cat get shot 4 times in the chest.
Yeah,
that ain't happening. That don't sound like murder suicide. That sound like a murder. That sound like a murder.
And nobody heard it. Like there was a condo next to it. Like what about that part of it? Somebody heard it? Did somebody call? Like nobody.
I feel like this was just one of those documentaries where nobody wants to talk about anything else. I don't think they wanted to be involved or mention anything. And oh yeah, we've seen his truck over here a few times, but mind business.
They're paying a little money,
right? Yeah.
Usually that'll get folks to talk.
What's up, Big Ellie? We was just talking about you. HRap not coming to your funeral.
Not if it's shaky.
Not if he just beat you out of 13,000.
13 grand, you ain't up dead.
What's up, Blue Streak in the building? Blue Streak is nominated for Supporter of the Year, so you can definitely vote for her. She's in most of the chat rooms in the BS2 network, so appreciate you. All right, so anybody that's seen any documentary, anything about cheating, normally, if the guy's married, he's not leaving his wife for you. That's most 90% of the time that's what happens. But I think she was believing otherwise.
Unless her name's Sunshine and y'all play on Harlem Nights.
Right. Hey, baby, I ain't coming home no more. Tell the kids I love them. Yeah. But I felt like the clips they showed for the Super Bowl run, even though it had nothing to do with it, I felt like that was pretty cool to see again. The Music City Miracle. I didn't like Jeff Fisher either. I didn't think he was a good coach. The minute he left Tennessee, where I think he went to the Rams. Didn't he go to the Rams? But that didn't work out.
Clean into the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
He ended up moving. So there it is. Wow, I think that's about it.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah. I think that's
and you did a yeoman's work by stretching it this damn long. I wasn't. Shit, I'm surprised you did that.
Y'all lucky I showed up to this motherfucker.
All right, so and Netflix is working on some other Untold. I think they're working on.
I think I just saw about 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, that they're working on. This one just didn't give you really what you were looking for, and it was a unnecessary cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said when I saw 58 minutes, I thought that they split this up because I don't know what else you could really get out of it. I was like,
my God.
Yeah. It was definitely yeah, definitely. So I mean, watch it for yourself. Yeah. I don't know if you're gonna like it. You could probably do a Google search and figure it out pretty quickly. Just look up Steve McNair. You go to his Wikipedia. It'll probably have all the information on there. But rest in peace. Most importantly, I would say rest in peace to Steve McNair. Nobody deserves to die like that. I don't care what you did. And I think
you don't care what they did. So Jeffrey Dahmer don't deserve to die. Got him, coach.
Baby.
Got him, coach.
Baby.
I got you, nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But now, what did he say? He said, "Got you, bitch."
But yeah, man, rest in peace to Steve McNair. His sons, I don't remember their names, but I looked up. They're one of them actually plays college basketball. The other one is a model actor. So I mean, his sons, obviously, they probably still think about it. The mom was interviewed. She said they talk about it all the time.
It looked like Steve McNair and Barry Sanders go to the same barber though, because they a little bit of froze. D Great.
Let's go D Great in the building. And I think all his offensive linemen, they interviewed his offensive linemen.
You knew he couldn't get no straightening comb through that head, man. You can look at it and tell.
But the offensive lineman kind of said it best. Remember him for those moments that you loved him, the moments that you met him, for what he did, his impact he made on the city. That was the only player I think that was interviewed, right? Besides Fisher. It seemed like anybody else was.
Yeah, I think
but
then Grandy, but whatever his name is.
Yeah, why Eddie George didn't say nothing? That's your boy. Y'all winning together.
Nah, man, they said
out the budget.
Maybe.
Eddie
At least they got a quote.
Yeah.
Like Eddie George said this. I mean, at least get a quote, man. You can get that over the phone.
Yeah.
All right. Final thoughts and Mike rating. This may be the shortest episode ever. HRap.
Shabbily done. One mic. You know what though? I'm gonna say whatever the average is. Like whatever. If the best is 5, middle is 2.5. 2.5. Simply because I'm speaking from the perspective of a sports fan. If you've never heard of Steve McNair, this may be very informative and make you go and look into some Steve McNair information. So I'm gonna give it a 2.5 mics.
This may be your introduction to Steve McNair. That's a possibility. Right. Shout out to Galen. He says,
"What's up, Galen? That's homeboy."
When it comes to this subject, people just want something to be something, but it is what it is. That's the most
something, nothing, leave nothing.
Gotta have what it is.
If you want to be with me.
All right, Wilks.
Yeah, one mic. That's it.
Yeah, and you watched this twice, right?
I watched it twice.
I commend you for doing that.
Because I literally thought I missed something. I watched it Friday night, and I watched it again Sunday. Yeah. I even told my wife, I was like, I think I missed something. I'm gonna rewatch this. But
this was not a 2-timer right here. This was a 1-time. That's about it.
Well, by Sunday, I forgot what I watched because I don't remember anything. That's why I had to rewatch it. Like
Big Illinois says 2. Yeah.
I'm going back to sleep, man. We done, man.
All right, Doc.
That's where I'm at. I'm right with Big Illinois. 2 mics.
All right. What was some of the other? Ratings?
I just told you. That's it. I didn't get nothing. The Guardian gave it 2 out of 5. That's all I can find. I didn't find no Google. I didn't find no. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes said, "Quit! Don't even mess with us about this little old bullshit." We didn't even get folks to comment on it. I mean, when your comment said you could have saved that little money and just sent folks to Google for 10 minutes and be done with it.
Yep. Sorry, Netflix.
I'm gonna agree with HRap. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 just for the throwback pieces of it, which didn't have to do with the murder, but was good to see. And this may be people's first introduction, so I agree with that.
Whatever.
All right, what's coming up tomorrow on the End of the Bench?
The Steve McNair documentary. Like I'm going to continue on my theme of hip hop albums, and it's "Do You Want More" by the Roots. And the reason I'm going to do that is talk about the complaining that goes on in the community. I'm going to talk about how people stick their foot in our community and pass judgment. Michael Rubin, you can suck. DJ Vlad, you can suck. Those two, just as 2 of the people that just stuck their nose in our community and passed judgment. And I don't like it. And most importantly, what's the next move, man? It's a sad commentary when we allow people to come into our community and pass judgment on our community. Joe Rogan, they try to, and one of the biggest things that we need to get away from is paying attention to polls. And well, the polls say, well, actually, let's just be honest. Polls do not tell you what the people say. Polls actually shape the opinions of people. When the polls say this and this, well, okay, well, I don't need to do this because the polls say. The polls are not an accurate depiction of public opinion. So that's what I'm talking about tomorrow.
All right, let me get to a comment. I think a full documentary needs to be done on his wife and his properties and kids. Now they are right now. Like common sense already tells you what happened in the first place. Let's talk about the second chapter. The type of stuff is interesting to me. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I had to look that up because his wife was in here's the other part. He didn't have a will. So his wife was in a legal dispute with Steve McNair's mom over some of the properties. So there was a podcast that Queen 3 and King did. Do a will, have something in writing.
There's a will, there's a way.
People aren't fighting over.
That's what I said. You don't never understand. We never know what was going on in this house.
Yeah, and obviously he didn't think, I'm gonna die soon, so he didn't do a will. It doesn't deserve it doesn't deserve a mic. I'm giving it a mic cord. Wow.
Right.
All right. Anything tomorrow?
Yeah, we're gonna do fuck around and find out last week. Yep. We fucked around and found out that some other stuff come up sometime. So we're gonna try to go ahead and get that done next week. Again, from a special guest on with a gentleman and his wife that, they family, they grew up in the same neighborhood. So hopefully he don't start telling stories about King Dawk,
He probably will.
Yeah. So anyway, that ought to be a good time tomorrow. Just a little fun show.
All right.
All right. Look at this.
So next week is Labor Day. We will not be on, so we'll have a
Hey,
replay.
what do you used to say? It's Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Not Labor night.
Get in this church building. And before you leave, drop something in that bucket.
It's Labor Day, not Labor night.
I call it my birthday Labor Day.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Start calling my birthday Labor Day.
Yeah. All our birthdays was Labor.
Now the week after, we're gonna do a film called Parallel.
Thank you,
Hey, no problem.
You can check that out. I believe it's on Apple and YouTube TV, some other places. It seems very interesting, so we'll see what it ends up panning out.
Well, since I have time tonight, I guess I'll start that because, yeah. I'll doze off.
All right, HRap, go ahead and close this out.
Peace out, Steve McNair.
Hey, it's better than a documentary.
All right. If we owe you 30 minutes of this show, we ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God. God.
Him upstairs.